As the old saying goes, give us an inch and inevitably we want a mile. And certainly this sentiment is true with technology. Mobile phones work by letting bursts of radio frequency radiation RFR to emit transmission. In 2011, the World Health Organization, International Agency for Research on Cancer, classified RFR as potential to be carcinogen and specified that the use of mobile phones could lead to specific forms of brain and tumors. You can read more of that from this magazine we are indicating here. That's the first one. So the second one is there is also what is called ELF. And ELF control towers condition our subconscious minds daily with subliminal messaging. It is the major source of all modern Christian exorcists, prophets, and healers. ELF stands for extremely low frequency. We'll soon show you where it is derived from and how it is derived from by technologies. You can read more from this website. And there is the patents, a number of patents concerning the ELF. US patent indicated here, silent subliminal presentation system. US patent number is given here. And here is the title, Method and an Associated Apparatus for Remotely Determining Information as to a Person's Emotional State. And another patent, this one, Implantable Transceiver Apparatus for Tracking and Recovering Humans. Another patent here indicated here, Body-worn Active and Passive Tracking Device. Another patent here, Fenceless Animal Control System using GPS, Global Positioning Satellite Location Information. So this is information that is currently available, that was available for years, I think 40 years ago. And compare this with the two things that I have indicated, and then we have to ask the question, the spirit in modern technology. This is a Pentecostal revival meeting. We ask the question, is technology proving that spirituality was just a long-lasting psychological fad from our ancestors? Are today's prophets hearing God's voice really? We read stories of spiritual display and manifestations in the holy books. Are these still repeatable today? Healings, prophecies, and miracles we see in churches, especially evangelical churches, are they for real? Is there a real spirit in the church, in the mosque, in the synagogue? What's that spirit? You can read more of technology on this website that we are also indicating here. Here is a report which indicates that government has a program for mind control. And the weapons of mind control are listed as electromagnetic weapons, microwave weapons, non-lethal weapons, extremely low frequency weapons, directed energy weapons, acoustic weapons, psychotronic weapons, radio frequency weapons, which we have already indicated, soft kill weapons, less than lethal weapons. And these are employed by our governments or shadow government behind our governments. Because if you go to the government, they will dispute that. They will not say, yeah, we do that. Modern agencies that generate a spiritual force, the examples of which are like EMF, the energy field causes a change in everything it encounters. EMF, electromagnetic field, is a broad term which includes electric fields generated by charged particles, magnetic fields generated by charged particles in motion, and radiated fields such as televisions, radio, and microwaves. So there are so many forces that create sensations, that create heat and cold to us, that manipulate our senses of taste, of food, of drink, that actually affects our thinking and our eyesight, what we see, what we hear, what we feel, what we touch, our frequency of pain, our headaches, causes of diseases. So there are so many of them, these tools. Here is one of the greatest scientists of our modern times, Nikola Tesla. He said alpha waves in the human brain are between 6 and 8 hertz. This is the frequency of the wave. The frequency of the wave human activity resonates between 6 and 8 hertz. All biological systems operate in the same frequency range. The human brain's alpha waves function in this range, and the electrical resonance of the earth is between 6 and 8 hertz. Thus, our entire biological system, the brain and the earth itself, work in the same frequencies. If we can control that resonant system electronically, we can directly control the entire mental system of humankind. That's very dangerous. That's very deadly. Did you know that? I hope you do. And I hope you have a process and a program to counter this or to balance this. If you have melanin, if you think from your cortex, and if you avoid the amygdala, and this is a lesson, and this is a teaching of East Africa. Fact, it's not theory what Nikola Tesla says. So area most sensitive to electromagnetic energy, you can see where they are. Right, straight in the brain. This figure 6 is by Alan H. Frey, 1962. Human auditory systems response to modulated electromagnetic energy. Now we are coming closer to the key. According to Plutarch, Ra departed to the heavens, and Ausare became pharaoh of ancient Egypt with Isisu, and they built Thebes, present-day Luxor. Eusebius, bishop of Caesarea in Palestine, and Caecilius speak of a lineage of gods who reigned on the earth for a total of 36,600 years. Therefore, they are interdimensional entities that involve themselves with technological revelation or technological inspiration. Here is what the former president of the United States said, Woodrow Wilson. He said, since I entered politics, I have chiefly heard men's views confided to me privately. Some of the biggest men in the United States in the field of commerce and manufacturing are afraid of somebody, are afraid of something. They know that there is a power somewhere so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocked, so complete, so pervasive that they had better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of it. Woodrow Wilson, 1856-1924, 28th President of the United States. And that power is decayed humanoids who decayed after the Ice Age, and they became alive via nitrogen. There is more evidence to this. Sonic, infrasonic, and ultrasonic frequencies. The utilization of waveforms as weapons, apparatus for psychological manipulation, and as instruments of physiological influence by industrial, entertainment, and military organization. You can add the church there. Therefore, you can see here, this is a PDF study, and it's free online. You can find it here. Therefore, when you say someone can say they hear God's voice, when you hear that you are separate from yourself, you are separate from God, and they have someone to put you together to God, and you have to go through another agent, you must watch. Miracle performers, modern day Pentecostal snake handlers, and many others, you must watch. So, how can you hear God's voice? That's the question. Do you hear God's voice yourself? Now, there is a smart technology like 5G, and in discussion with the greatest thinker East Africa, he has reviewed two sides of 5G. Most governments are scared of 5G technology, and the others, they want to implement it. And for your own information, 5G is the best technology for us if we have activated melanin. So smart technologies may be used, affect your mental state. So that is the fact that we should always think and guard ourselves in. What does the African philosopher then say? The ancient African priesthood understood that being truly religious means it is when one completely banishes the ego as a free-willed your individual, and then in full knowledge, you have to know your intention and test your intention if it is yours. Then perceive self as not separate from others and the universe at large. When doing that, one reconnects to all the ancestors, spirits, and natures using totemic memory, which then ultimately reignites the abstract divine or God within. Capture that one. Abstract. The priesthood was more concerned with this God, capital G, in you as an expression of a creative spirit or energy. This state, however, is easily lost through religion, through technology, and through other diverse tactics. And you must regularly recover it. How do you recover it? By reminding yourself you are only one with existence and reality, not separate. Religions like Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and all others disconnect your identity and African reality. How do they do that? By calling your ancestors sinners, burning in hell, by introducing fear, by hypnotic repeat after me sensations or statements, and then when you eventually start to repeat, you become captured. In conclusion, therefore, what can we do? It is clear that any prophet, any technology that does not enhance and enrich your connection to your African ancestral source and being And the creator of your ancestors is perpetuating a mental enslavement agenda that began by Islam, that enslaved us, and Christianity, that enslaves us, and Judaism, that enslaved us also. And it is all deceptive and changing you from being African to non-African. That's the key. Stick to your racial identity. Practice and repeat actions that connect you to your ancestors. Anything else is recreating your godhood or yourself to a disincarnate, controllable soul with a free will that is attached not to your brain but to your amygdala and reptilian mind, Ara complex. Philosophy of education is the foundation of any civilization. Dr. T. Theophilo Ibenga. To guard yourself from the wild nature of technology and modern deception from agents of deception, you have to stick to these fundamentals. Thank you, Siabonga Tatenta. Subscribe to our channel. Commit Hebrew ethics, propagating the real potential to recreate and to rulership, and time to recapture the real you. This preacher Rabbi LM Tumizulu. Contact us on email lmtumizulu@gmail.com. Thank you. Goodbye.